Hello, this is The Station. I'm Carlos Lumix. We're going to explore the sublime, the occult, and the mysterious. Tonight's special guest is REEM Hijawi. We're going to explore her book on poetry, art, and the Palestinian question.
Hello.
Well, hello to you, REEM Hijawi. I understand you had a great gallery opening at the Halada Gallery in Long Beach. Could you tell us a little bit about it?
At Halada?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I showed around 20 paintings. Most of them, it was called Palestine and Quran. I had paintings that depicted Quran pieces, and also there were paintings about Palestine, and it showed it was about how the Israelis treat the Palestinians, and it was about how they.
Well, there's a lot of political conflict in Palestine right now, and do your paintings represent a lot of that in your paintings?
Yes, I painted many copies and many paintings, and they also all depicted the problem in Palestine, and there was like some resemblance. I tried to connect the Quran pieces with the Palestinian problem.
Right, they're trying to get self-determination. I think they just got recognized by the UN as an independent state. Am I correct in saying that?
Yes, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had all these paintings at the gallery. Well, how was they were received? I mean, did you get a lot of people coming in and looking at them? I was actually there, and there were quite a few people that came in.
It was for a whole week, and many people showed up. And then I took the paintings back. Actually, I like to keep my paintings. I don't like to sell them.
Oh, you have your own private collection.
Yes.
You accumulate a lot of things.
Yes, I have like an art gallery in front of my apartment, where I keep all my paintings.
So you have more paintings than what you showed at the gallery?
Oh, yeah.
So do you kind of rotate them? Put one selection up and then take that down and put another one up?
No. There are not that many. No, I just put them all in one place.
Do you paint in any particular style?
No, I don't think so.
Do you sketch out your
figures?
With
the chalk pencils or with pencils, and then I paint. I use water-based oil colors. That means that I mix my colors with water, even though they have the same texture of oil colors.
And you're also quite a writer of poetry, is that correct?
Yes. I wrote 2 books. The first book I wrote was about 15 short stories, and it's called You Don't Live the Moment Twice. And these short stories about the Middle East in general, and of course, like everything in this world, there's some things that I like a lot more than others. And this book was published in 2003, and if you like, I can talk about some story.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay, this story, it is You Don't Live the Moment Twice, but let me find it. It's about a man who was in love with a woman, and she died, but one day he was sitting alone, and she visited him like like an imagination or something, like a spirit. Thank you. I was looking for the word. If not, I can just tell you the ending of this.
You can paraphrase it if you want. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can do that if you want.
Okay. So he was sitting alone, and his ex love of his life came and visited him, and he was surprised in the beginning, and he realizes that he really loved her. So he tells her, I want to be with you forever. So she thinks a little bit, and then she hugs him, and then their arms become like branches of trees, and their legs become like roots, and they remain together forever.
So and that's the basis of that particular.
Yes, and strange enough, I was in Italy and I saw a story. I saw a painting that maybe it gave me the idea of to write this story. And there are other stories, if you like. For instance, I had an I still have, we're still friends, an Iraqi friend. And she got married late in life, and she couldn't have children.
So how many stories are there?
Here, 15 short stories.
15 short stories, and these are all that you came up with and put into a book.
Yeah.
I think, would you call them like love stories and stories of eternity?
Not all of them are love stories, no. How the dreams come true. And it's about friendship, and about families when they get together. And one of them, Avros, this is a story when I was in Cyprus, because this book was written in Cyprus. And
you wrote the entire book there?
Yeah.
And you have another one?
Yeah. And then there is this other book, The Jumping of the Braids, and this is a book of poetry. When I first came to the States, I went to school here, and I had a very nice professor who taught me. I took a poetry course, and he was very nice, and he really affected my poetry and improved it for me. So I wrote these poems while I was taking his class, and this book was published in 2013.
It's a very nice cover.
Thank you. By the way,
Actually, both are.
Yes, thank you. I drew the covers, all my drawings. This is my drawing, and this is my drawing, the cover.
That was a very nice. Do you want to read a selection from your poetry?
Okay, there's Gardenia. You look at me intently, saying, I kiss you with my eyes. I inhale your words and fly like smoke, turning and spreading slowly to the skies. Your heart was with me, watching over me. It gasps, don't fear, I am with you. I go to sleep. The smell of gardenia has a message in disguise. Relax. Most of our fears are ungrounded illusions. The birds chirping tell me you miss me. Now I know I have it all.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Do you have another one?
Sure, my pleasure. Okay, this one, Angel of My Heart, by the way, I received a prize for it, a poetry prize for it. I got third place. It was called, the contest was called Dancing Poetry in San Francisco. And I went there and I attended the ceremony. And here it is, Angel of My Heart. I gasped for air, climbing the mountain, and on your injured feet you carried me. When money became scarce in my hands, you opened your hand to ease my catastrophe. If I desire your last bite of food, you deny your urge and you put it in my mouth. Please, people make fun of my vision, but you storm like the wind to support me. When you see tears rushing from my eyes, you wipe away my pain with a kiss, and you make peace with my sorrow, and it surrenders to my smile. My eyes were focused on your lips, waiting to hear your promise. You gave your word and you didn't disappoint me. When I tried to return the favor, you proudly refused. Be beautiful, my lady. I was afraid. You galloped to me to comfort me. If I offer to sacrifice myself to you, you say, don't take me for a stick that will end up hurting you and me. Your ears become a sponge wiping my sorrow when it overflows. An abundance of gift you bestow without a motive, as if you are an angel dedicated to ensuring my heart's happiness.
But one thing I want to get to that I found very fascinating about you was that you were actually trained as an engineer, a civil engineer, and you were trying to
Industrial.
and you were trying to prove a point to your father. You want to tell us all about that?
I studied in Kuwait. We used to live in Kuwait. And my dad wanted to send me to a school in America. So he wanted me, because he knew that I liked poetry and all that. So he was expecting me to study something in literature. But I wanted to prove to my dad that sure, I'm a woman, but I can make it and I can study engineering. So I applied for industrial engineering and I studied there in America.
Did you work on any projects, engineering projects?
To be honest, not a lot, because I went to work for my father. He had his own company and I worked with him. He used to sell, we still have the company, by the way. He sold electrical appliances in Kuwait. We had like 5 branches, and I worked there for some time. And then
You came here to do other things?
First, there was the Gulf War. So when the Gulf War happened, I was married by then. I married my ex-husband in Kuwait. I met him in engineering club in Kuwait, because he's an engineer, I am too. So after we met, we got married. And then I think maybe a year or two later, the Gulf War broke. So we went to first Salford University, because he was doing his second master's. So we went to Salford, but I didn't like it there. So I went back to Jordan. After the Gulf War, with like 500,000 Palestinians, we all moved to Jordan. So I went back to live in Jordan. My mom and my brother was there. I have another brother who lives in Switzerland, but I stayed in Jordan, and after that, after Salford, I went back to Jordan, and after Jordan, I got divorced and I came here.
And you've been here all this time?
I've been here 6 years.
6 years?
Yeah.
Do you ever go to Palestine?
Yes, after 2 years ago, I got the American passport, so I could go to Nablus. I'm from Nablus and in the West Bank, so I could go there. So since 2 years, I've been going to Nablus every year.
Have you tried to visit the Gaza Strip? I understand it's very difficult to visit there.
No, no, I wish, but I tried when I was there, but they said you cannot go there.
Is it totally sealed off? I mean, it's. I know they've got a. I know the Israelis have a flotilla out there, a blockade.
But I feel so sorry for the Gazan people. How many millions are they? Like a million?
Well, they're captive and surrounded. They can't
Yes,
water
they
on
cannot
one side.
leave, and they live in very bad circumstances.
If you consider what happened since the turn of the century in 1900 and World War I and World War II, they were being pushed around and almost homeless in their in their quest to be somebody and someplace.
Yeah, but my late father, I remember, he used to say that the Gazan people are strong, and they're the only ones, not the only, but they're the ones who are going to retrieve Palestine for us, because they are strong and dedicated people. And so I trust that the Gazan people, even though they are separated and they are alone, but I believe that they will make it.
Is there anything else there was also, I think you had a charity somewhere in the Middle East of children, if I'm...
Yes. My dad, before he died, he started, he built 2 universities, one in Jordan, in Irbid, Jordan. The other one, he built another college. He built a college, a technical college in Nablus. And this technical college is for 2 years, where the students go to study for 2 years, and after that they are graduated like technicians. And the university, what's good about the university, it is with Najah University. Najah University is a university that's in Nablus. Okay, so my dad started a college in Al-Najah University. And because of that, I wanted to help the students there. So in 2013, I made REEM Fund. In 2013, I supported 100 students to study in this college, in my dad's college. And in 2014, I supported another 100 students in Najah University. But now I thought I paid enough because it's too expensive. So God willing, now I'm looking to find. I'm hoping to find other organizations that would support these students, because my dad, he believed that education is the main mean for the Palestinians to survive. So that's why you can find out that there are too many educated Palestinian people, because we believe that education is the means to get Palestine back.
Geographically speaking, where is Nablus seated?
In Palestine?
Yeah.
I wish there's a.
Guess what? Guess what I have? I found some maps of Palestine.
Okay, Jerusalem is in the middle. Nablus is north.
What's the population there?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know.
Would you consider it a big city?
Yeah, it's considered a big city. Not as big as Jerusalem, but it is a big city.
Is it pretty quiet there as far as life goes on?
Not always. Well, it depends. No, sometimes they call Nablus the Jabal al-Nar. They call it the mountain of fire, because when they are needed, they can become real strong opposing people and strong fighters. and but now it's the things are going down, Melo. I mean, when Israel was attacking Gaza, thank you. When Israel was attacking Gaza, the people in Nablus were also against supporting the Gazan people. The Nablusi people were supporting the Gazan people.
Well, that must have got them into a lot of trouble also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I know all the action and all the fraught is in the Gaza. You hear more about that than any of the other places.
True. I don't know if I told you that my dad used to say that the Gazan people are the most people who will retrieve Palestine and return it to the Palestinians.
Right. It has the most concentration of Palestinians, right?
Yeah, sure.
And right now they're just kind of encased in this small area of land, and they can't. I believe like I said, I think the Israelis have a blockade on the Mediterranean, right? I think they still do.
Yes.
And they've surrounded the rest of it with troops, I believe.
I don't know about the troops, but yeah, it's a very overpopulated area, Gaza. That's all I know.
So what do you hope for the future for yourself?
In what sense?
Well, are you going to continue on painting and writing poetry, or are you going to venture into new items and new...
As I told you, I'm hoping to find somebody who will support these students in Palestine, because I think I've done enough. So I'm hoping to find an organization that will support the education of the Palestinian students. This is my main concern now. And for the future, I will keep writing and painting. I would like to talk about this painting, because this painting is about Palestinian children who are usually...
Could you hold it up a little bit more, please?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And so this was, I believe are those the Israeli troops over there?
These are Israelis, and this is a Palestinian child, and he is handcuffed. And this guy, and those Israelis, they have captured him. How they do it, how the Israelis do it, they go at night, in the middle of the night, they go and they take the child from when he is sleeping in his house, they capture him, and they transfer him to Israel, to an Israeli camp, and over there, they torture him, and after torture they make him sign a paper in Hebrew language which he doesn't understand, but because the child is so much in pain and he wants to get rid of the situation, many children they sign it, but they don't know what for. Usually they claim that because he threw rocks at the soldiers. I mean, how can you... to me, this is not comprehensible. I mean, a whole country, let's say, is against children like this. This is not fair.
What specifically do they do in torture?
Like I heard that they don't give them water. First of all, they blindfold them when they transfer them to the Israeli prison. After that, the boy he asked for some water, and because he's blindfolded, he took the water and drank. And guess what? The interrogator he peed in the cup and he gave it for him to drink. This is... Anyway, most of the people in Palestine go under military law, while the other Israelis who live in the West Bank, for instance, they go under civil law, and those children are arrested usually at night, and they don't have their parents with them. Their parents don't know where he's going, and after that they're taken and they're being abused. They're being tortured. And because the child is afraid, after the abuse, they ask him to sign papers in Hebrew. So because the child is afraid and in pain and he wants to get rid of the situation, he just signs it, not knowing what's gonna happen.
Does he sign it while blindfolded, or does he know what? Is he sort of admitting to it?
No. He's not. After that, he's not blindfolded. He's taken to the prison blindfolded. But no, in the prison, he's not blindfolded. But still, he doesn't know. He doesn't know their language, the Hebrew, when he has to sign the paper.
When he signs it, he's admitting that he did something. And
yes,
that's what it is. But he doesn't understand what that was.
Yes,
written down.
And usually what they do, these children, they only the maximum they do is the throwing rocks at the soldiers. That's it, maximum.
So after he signs it, what do? They let him go? Or?
No, they put him in jail. They put him in jail. And he has to wait until maybe his parents find out about him, and then find him a legal representation. They find him a lawyer.
So what's the disposition then? Do they fine him and then let him go, or do they do more punishment? Or
usually they torture the kids, and then they are transferred from the West Bank to a prison in Israel. And then this boy, he stays in prison. It depends. Did you know that the penalty for throwing rocks at the soldier is 20 years prison? 20 years. So
do they actually keep them there that long?
Well, it depends on how hard his. I think, I'm not sure, but it depends on how hard his family look him up and find him a lawyer, like this.
So they actually disappear for a long period of time, and nobody really knows what happens.
Yeah, but then after that, as I told you, his parents would find out, and then he is. But at that point, he had already signed the paper, and he's already stuck in prison for I don't know how many years. Maybe, as I told you, throwing the stones is 20 years prison.
Well, if he signs the paper and gets 20 years of prison, then what if he doesn't sign it? What happens after that?
Are you kidding me? He was sure he will sign it because he will be tortured too.
In other words, they just keep on doing it until he does.
Yes. He cannot not sign it.
So then he gets 20 years on top of it.
Yeah. That's why I think that this Israel, I'm sure it will not remain on the face of this earth, because they are doing lots of bad things, and God will not accept it.
Well, thank you for being on the station, Reem Hajari. This is Carlos Lumix signing off for the station.